One evening in Midtown Atlanta, two policemen approached me while I stood outside my car, pointed a gun in my face, and shouted, "Move and I'll blow your head off." At the time, I was a 28-year-old attorney who specialized in civil rights. As they conducted a completely illegal search of my car, I considered saying something. There was no probable cause. I'd just been sitting outside my apartment listening to the radio. But in the end, I kept quiet. And the first thought that entered my head when the officer pointed a gun at me, I wanted to run. I knew better than to do that, but the experience made me think, what about all the other young black men that lived in my area? How would they know not to run away in a similar situation? We have banned slavery, largely eliminated mob lynching with impunity, and struck down most of the laws that segregate and humiliate people of color. Yet, there is still a belief in America that black people are presumptively guilty and dangerous. It compromises law enforcement and makes police abuse and misconduct an issue that haunts and burdens black communities. Police brutality is simply the latest manifestation of a 400-year-old problem. After my own encounter with police, I found Bureau of Justice statistics that said black men were 8 times more likely to be killed by a police officer than white men. Today, black people are 6 times more likely to go to prison for committing the same offense as a white person. The Bureau of Justice now predicts that 1 in 3 black male babies is expected to go to jail or prison during his lifetime. Yes, 1 in 3. President Barack Obama has appointed me to his task force to review policing in the 21st century. I believe that officers should see themselves as guardians rather than warriors. We need police who live in the communities where they work. We need police who have been trained and taught to manage implicit bias. And we need police who protect and serve young black men, not simply hunt and arrest them. In law enforcement policy, America has the chance to begin a long overdue effort at confronting our history of racial inequality. We need transitional justice in the U.S. We need truth and reconciliation. South Africa, Rwanda, and Germany have all made progress in recovering from apartheid and genocide. The difference? They have been willing to address the effects that human rights abuses had on their nations. At the Equal Justice Initiative, we want to talk about the legacy of slavery. We want to force our nation to confront the fact that slavery in America didn't really end in 1865, it simply evolved. We want to literally change the landscape of our country. Instead of being littered with Confederate flags and memorials celebrating the lynching era, there should be monuments to those who suffered racial abuses. Each of us has a role to play. There is much we need to learn, to discuss, and to confront. We have a choice: to allow the hatred of the past to be handed down to our children, or to write a new story about who we are.
In the last 30 years, there's been a total transformation of the American prison system. Today, there are about 2.2 million people behind bars in the United States, more than in communist China.